1983, I got into the business world. I had an IBM double floppy drive with the 10 meg on the side, and I thought I was the coolest guy walking on the world. I had a daisy wheel printer sitting beside me, and that thing was so loud I had to put a case over it to keep it so I could actually concentrate. In 2003, when Healey and I bought Aviation Title Service, they had a daisy wheel printer printing off the title work that we were doing for our clients. That's 20 years, and nothing had changed. I was in shock with the technology that these companies didn't have. And I really thought it was just AIC. We had 4 employees at the time. We have 49 now. I really didn't understand it. So I started digging into it and trying to find out, how can we make a difference? And the way we make a difference is by change. And we changed everything. Today at AIC, we have 5 full-time, I call them programmers. I guess everybody out here would call them developers. They write code for our software. We just completed designing an aircraft closing room, and inside that aircraft closing room, all the documents are placed. Everything that you would need to buy or sell a plane are inside that closing room. You can sign your application for registration. You can sign your bill of sale. You could even put in your security agreements that you might need. All those things are placed inside, so we have a digital closing room. And that digital closing room has been able to enhance us to go to the next level. Last year, we closed approximately 4,000 planes through our closing room. $3.9 billion in closing. This year, we're exceeding that.
Don't worry about that. I know we have.
We'll be bigger than that.
Opportunity.
The market goes up and down, as you guys know. It's a cycle. And it depends on what kind of cycle you're in. Will determine how many transactions we're going to be doing.
Use
but it's a good judge of where the market is and where the economy is going if you look at how many transactions we do in a year and how much activity is going on.
Involved in flight training and other areas. So I'm going to hand over to
more than we've ever done. And in 2018, I thought that would be the year of all years. 2019, we're exceeding those numbers. I don't have planes that go Mach 5.
Airworthiness has to be validated.
I don't have AI that'll fly me around in a little car. We push paper. But we push paper more efficiently than anyone else. At some point in time, if any of the dreams that we've heard the last couple of days come into existence, there's only one company out there that will be able to keep up with the paperwork that is going to be required by those companies to file at the FAA, and that's AIC. There's not even a question in my mind that no one will ever be able to catch up to us. We're light years ahead. We're dreaming about things no one else thought of. In the past, my examiners would take approximately 2 to 4 hours to do an international registry search that was in-depth, a big one, a fractional one that's had a lot of transfers, a lot of changes and everything else. Today, it takes 4 seconds. Now, they have to review it after that and go through it, but that's what we're working for. Last year, I started working on an OCR program to OCR all the documents that we get from the FAA and be able to transfer that information into our system. One of the largest problems that we have, and if you all have dealt with the FAA, you're going to understand what I'm getting ready to tell you, and it'll make a lot of sense to you. The documents that they store inside there are all different sizes.
Almost 100 years ago.
Some of them can be 3 by 5, some of them 8.5 by 11, up to 80 by 60 inches. And that is for them how they scan into the system. So we're having a heck of a time being able to OCR those documents and be able to transfer that information into our system at AIC. I'll get there someday. I don't know if it's going to be as fast as I thought it would be, but I will get there someday. If you don't dream, someone else is going to run over you. If you don't think you can do something, someone else is going to beat you to it. We dream, we build, and I want you to dream and tell us what you would like to have happen differently. 2 nights ago, someone walked up to me and said, "Clay, I love your closing room. I love everything that it does. In the bottom of the closing room, all your documents that I need to have are in there. Is there a way that I could get a button where I can hit it and it downloads all of the documents instead of having to download each one of the documents?" And we originally put it in there because I don't know what document you might or might not need. And this individual wanted them all at one time. And the answer was, absolutely. As soon as I get back to the city, we'll build your button. Those are the things that we try to do for you all. Those are the things that we make easier for you to do the things that you do. This is one of the most boring subjects in the world because it's not planes. It's not exciting. There's nothing cool about saying, I can push your paper. But what it is the ability for you to dream about things you want to have happen and know that you have someone on the other side of that working on your behalf to get things done the way you want to have them done. So AIC is the company that can build anything that you can dream up, almost anything. If it has to do with the FAA, the International Registry, or anything else that deals with the paper, we can build it. And not only can we build it, we will build it. I'm not going to take up any more of your time. You know what I've said. You know where I'm coming from. And quite frankly, I'm going to let you guys get out there, go get a drink, go to the bathroom, do whatever you need to do, because the paperwork is through. We've already completed it. All you had to do is push a button. Please go to AIC. There's going to be a link next week to the closing room that I'm going to put a code out for all the people that were here so they can get into it and actually see the closing room work. So Al will email the code to you all that will allow you to get into the YouTube and actually view how the closing room works. It's pretty cool. It's really cool. So I'm done. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. If you don't, go to the bathroom, get a Coke, and
Actually, don't, because
I'll have a drink with you later tonight.
Okay, we've got one more speaker, so please don't. Clay, yesterday we saw a presentation or forecasts that we could have 100,000 VTOLs. Is the FAA ready to register that many in a year?
Could the FAA register them? Sure. The FAA could register them. Someone getting that much paperwork done would require a sizable step up. We could do it in a nanosecond. I could do it today. If you told me we needed to file 100,000 aircraft in the next 3 months at the FAA, AIC has the technology and the ability for you to be able to go in and do it today. So I wouldn't even have to build anything new. It's already built. It's already there. We're ready to go. So those sizes, I can do it.
Okay, one other.
I'm not going to talk about whether I think they'll ever do it, but I can tell you I can do that right now.
Okay, one other question is, you're making investments to accelerate the speed of registration. Are the FAA or other registries also investing in technology?
Yeah, all the registries are investing in some type of technologies. I've been to Malta, I've been to the Caymans this year. The registries we deal with quite extensively, and we talked to them quite a bit because they like the technology that we've built and have asked us to show them how that would benefit them. And well, I'll let you in on something. I'm probably a software company now as much as I am anything else. One of the OEMs that we deal with has just signed a software for a service contract with us for our closing room to go up, and they're going to use it in their world to allow them to be more efficient, because it allows them to get all the paperwork they need done faster. And they realize that, and they tried to build things in the past, but they realize ours is more efficient than anything they've been able to build. So that's one area that we're probably looking at that most people don't realize that we're able to provide to people, and that same concept can be moved towards some of the registries.
And
so they might be using our services.
And another question from the audience, is the FAA going to meet their deadline of modernizing? Is the FAA going to modernize the registration?
The FAA has said they were going to modernize the registration from the day I bought AIC in 2003. They still use the DOS prompt out there. Okay? Yes, they will. I will probably be dead before it happens. But they will. They're coming closer. They came out and met with us last year, and they actually saw what we built and have been inquiring on some of the things that we're able to do and how we do it and the speed we're able to do it at. So they will modernize it at some point in time. In your lifetime, you bet. In my lifetime, I don't know about it. They move extremely slow. They're just now figuring out what digital signatures are. I mean, it was ridiculous. 2 weeks ago, all of ours have been e-sign. Tell me anybody if I'm getting long, and I don't want to. E-sign is who we used originally to do all our digital signatures with, and we still do. It's one span now. But the FAA decided that because it said e-signed by Clay Healey, that was an electronic signature, not a digital signature. Okay? Same thing happened to some of my competitors, and we were all getting these rejections, and you don't want a rejection from the FAA. It takes 6 weeks to fix. It's a massive problem. So we actually all kind of got up in arms and started sending everything. Well, I just sent over all the contracts. Every time I sent over a document, I sent over the contract that I had with OneSpan saying it's a digital signature. Cost me $42,000 last year for the signatures. I don't upcharge either.
Brilliant.
My other competitors do.
And on that note, thank you very much.
Thank you.